Welcome to UCF Knightline, your source for UCF sports and former player information. All right, welcome Night Nation. This is the UCF Knightline Podcast, and this is episode number 18. It's brought to you by Andrew Phegley Photography, and you can go to www.andrewphegley.smugmug.com. All right.
Did you say 18?
I did say 18.
Hey, that makes us legal.
It does?
Yeah, we're legal now.
Oh, all right. So we played SMU on Saturday, which was yesterday, because this is the 23rd Sunday. We totally
smacked SMU around.
Smacked SMU. The score was 53-7. We had people score that I didn't even know were on the team.
Who was that?
I'm just joking. Michael Easton, we haven't seen him very much at all.
The only time I've seen Michael Easton is when he completely missed a block for a block punt.
Yeah.
When he said, "Ole," and then...
but he is like... I didn't realize that he's listed as a linebacker. So, that's interesting. How many linebackers in college football are actually people that can return kickoffs for a touchdown 99 yards?
Michael Easton... And that is 100% of the linebackers that return touchdowns.
Absolutely awesome, though. Senior day, of course. It was pretty much unbelievable. It was a great game. It was a game that we needed. We needed to blow somebody out like that and just whoop the living crap out of somebody. It makes us feel good. It makes the seniors feel good. It was a really crappy day. It was probably 70 degrees and raining, so that rain that we have in Florida that's like a mist, like just enough to like annoy the living crap out of everyone that was sitting in it. I actually, yes, I will say this on the air live, I left early. Normally, it's the first game that I think I've ever left early. I even sat through the monsoon a couple of years ago, but since we were up at that point, I think 50-something to 7, and, we were soaked down to everything that we were wearing, we decided to get out a little bit early, and I had a splitting headache, and all that. So we left early. I apologize, but I think that
you apologize to the 84 people who didn't leave early?
Yeah, I think it was about that. So
did you ever catch the announced attendance?
I saw it. It was 30,000 something.
I don't think it was 30,000.
I think it was. It wasn't that bad. There was more people there actually than I thought that would be there. To be honest with you, I think the rain kept some people away. But for senior day and all that, I
think the rain kept a lot of people away. And
yeah, it being a noon game kept people away as well, and you know that. So
I was hoping that more people, there was a decent amount of people that were walking around the promenade. I was hoping they'd come out into the stands a bit for the seniors when they were walking out.
Yeah.
But it was, weather-wise, it was a miserable situation. I like to play football in that weather, but it doesn't make the most, pleasurable experience when you're watching the weather. However,
yeah, it's
everything
fun.
on the field pretty much just wiped that all away.
Yeah. It's fun to play like that, but to watch, it's really...
I had fun.
I had fun. I just, I was ready to go by the time that the fourth quarter pretty much started.
We got deep into the fourth quarter before you bounced.
Yeah, I'm not sure what when, but I know it was before the Nick Patty touchdown, supposedly. I guess he scored a touchdown at some point. So, anyway. So Michael Easton, we talked a little bit about him. He ran back a touchdown, or
was it 95 or 96 yards?
I think it was 99 yards.
Whatever it was,
I have it somewhere here.
It was impressive.
It was very impressive. It just...
Now I know this is SMU, and you should almost feel bad for being bullied.
96 yards. I'm sorry, you're right.
And we didn't. I mentioned how I didn't think Georgia was going to run up the score, and I think Georgia's just trying to eat the clock. It's just SMU is incapable of tackling a human being.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good time actually to play this quote from O'Leary. This was his opening comments at his press conference.
Well, I thought good game all around, offense, defense, special teams. A lot of guys played the game and got some turnovers early that made a difference in the game. And, a lot of the seniors, I'm happy for them. They come out and made some plays. Mike Easton, we've been looking for a kickoff return all season, and he puts it in the end zone. So, okay, great for him. Overall, good game. And, anytime you hold a team to 4 first total downs, I think that a lot said at the time of possession. We had for 40-some minutes. So, good game, and got a chance to play a bunch of guys, and now I get ready for the next one, Thanksgiving weekend. So.
All right, so those were George O'Leary's comments after the game. He seemed like that he was happy, which is good. I like it when George O'Leary is happy and he doesn't, believe that he's probably going to be pretty nice this week to players, I would assume.
I like the fact that he touched on it, that he was able to get a lot of guys some playing time. We got to see our own Hobbit in there, Nick Patty. We got to see a lot of Micah Reed.
You had to bring up the Hobbit thing, didn't you?
There were 2 Hobbits on the field. One of them for the
Because
good guys.
you knew that I was going to bring up. Oh man, I was trying not to go there, but you.
He was like a Keebler elf of annoyance.
The referee was the biggest. Well, not the biggest, but the smallest Hobbit. The head referee.
He was like an overweight jockey.
I actually looked up his name earlier and was going to internet stalk him a little bit.
Not creepy at all.
And maybe send him a nasty gram. It was some of the worst officiating that I have seen all year long.
It's on par with what we've had all season with American referees.
Right.
I'm not talking about American as nationality. I'm talking about our conference.
Right. I could care less what nationality they are, but it was horrible refereeing. Things that were, the game took forever because of the refereeing. And
even though we ran the ball just to kill the clock, we were playing to wear the clock down about a third of the way into the second quarter.
Yeah, we were trying to get out of there, after the second quarter, to be honest with you, because all we really needed to play was the first quarter. Anyway.
Which we had how many points? 27, right?
Yeah, so we are 6-0 record for the UCF Knights at home
this season, and what does that mean?
That's awesome. That's a record for us.
That's the first time at Briar House that we've gone undefeated at home for the season.
Absolutely. Since 2001, and that year they were 5-0 at home, and that was at the Citrus Bowl.
The Citrus Bowl, almost the Tangerine Bowl. It was so old back then.
Yeah.
They play their first game there this weekend.
Yeah,
Bethune-Cookman beat out at FAMU. Yeah.
Did Bethune win?
18-17 in overtime.
Oh, wow, that was a good game then.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have been there, to be honest with you, to see the bands. Just to see the bands, because those guys are awesome.
Unequivocally the best part of the Florida Classic.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that, Bethune's not a bad team, though, so I'm sure it was a better game than maybe the score made it sound like. I'm sure it was back and forth, the whole time, so... what else? So,
you want to talk about our running game? We saw a bit of the future with Micah Reed there and Dontrevious Wilson getting in.
We did. One more thing about the home winning streak. We now have a 10-game home winning streak, and that's what they're going to take. Obviously, in the 2015 season, it's the second longest streak in school history, trailing the 11-game spurt from 1996 to 1998.
But this is against higher level of competition, though it's arguable that we had a very soft home slate this season outside of BYU. Right.
And the seniors, actually, this class has won 21 their home career record, I should say, is 21-3. They only lost during their 4 years 3 games at Bright House. That's awesome. I mean, that puts us up there with some pretty big, teams for having a home record like that, and that says a lot about the fans, and that's
Alabama
big.
has the longest at 15, so we're not that far behind.
We're not. I think I believe that we're in the top 5. I think Boise's up there. I saw that somewhere, but I don't, unfortunately, have that information right now. Maybe I can get it for later. But yes, we did see Micah Reed. We saw a lot of Dontravius Wilson.
Now, how'd you like Wilson's running? We didn't see Stanback, and I know you've been a big Stanback fan. What'd you think of Wilson?
Wilson actually, I can say, impressed me. At the game, we were talking about this, and I know this is why you brought this up, because I said that I've never really seen him, make somebody miss a block.
He had a couple nice moves in the Tulsa game.
He doesn't have the shocking, like that little fast little stutter step thing that breaks people's ankles. I think Micah Reed has it more, to be honest with you.
I think he has a more fluid running style.
Right.
Which is a very ambiguous
and
statement.
Maybe a little bit.
He doesn't change speeds when he cuts and stuff. That's what I really mean by that when I say fluid running style.
Right. Maybe a little bit more vision. I'm excited, for him, to be honest with you. I'm excited to see Micah Reed more. He seemed during the press conference.
Boy. He
things,
moves the pile.
Yeah. During the
strong.
press conference, he seemed very humble, and he was just excited to actually be able to get in there.
Of course, that's what you train so hard. That's what you practice so hard for, and be able to get out there, get over 100 yards, get a good amount of playing time when you're the third. Even Cedric Thompson was in there a good amount. He moved the H-back that moved Reed from fourth to third on the depth chart. But he got his carries, and he produced.
Yeah, we've got quite the line. I think maybe next year, since we're not going to have the receivers, unfortunately, we're not going to have all the receivers that we've had.
Do you want us to run a triple option offense?
Whatever it takes, to be honest with you. But I think that we're going to have. I think that's where our big depth is going to be. To be honest with you, at running back, because we've got so many good running backs, and I think most of them will be juniors.
Yep.
Juniors, and then we've got a couple coming in.
McCowan, one of our commits, obviously hasn't signed the paper yet, but he's starting to get a lot of love as a underrated high school star, and he's already committed to us for a while. And we have some talent here, and you're right. The running back position is going to be our biggest part of strength for depth and everything moving forward. As long as we could add some to the offensive line, and we're able to control that line of scrimmage. And it'll help mask some of our deficiencies in the receiving course.
Yeah, I think we need to get more, to be honest with you, of a 1-2 punch where we could set things up with one running back and then throw the other running back. Maybe that's where Stanback could really excel, like he did in the 1 year, his freshman year, with Storm Johnson there being the speedy, cut back, break your ankles guy. And then Stanback came in there and pounded it a couple times.
Stanback will bruise your soul, and Storm just... Storm's a big, strong guy. We kind of forget about that, but he was incredibly athletic.
It's unfortunate. Talking about Storm, I've been watching here a little bit of the Jaguars game, and Toby Gerhardt is back, which I'm not a big fan of, but it sets... I know Storm has dealt with some injury issues this year, but with Gerhardt back, it kind of sets, and with Denard Robinson doing so well, it actually sets... Storm back like fourth, maybe fifth on the depth chart. I don't know, but
and that's not always a bad thing, because sometimes your team can undervalue you, and then situations happen where you're able to get your shot, which happened this week
to Latavius Murray.
Oh man, it was beautiful. All right, I know I've said this on here before. I am a huge, diehard, never will not be a Kansas City Chiefs fan from birth. And I was so torn. I almost wanted to cry at one point, to be honest with you, because I was so happy for Latavius Murray, but I was like, no, not against my Chiefs, But it was the single most emotional weird thing that I've gone through watching football in a long time. It was 5 touches total. He had 1 kick return for 30 yards, 4 carries for 112 yards, 2 touchdowns, an 11 and 90-yarder. Took a concussion. He'll be back. I made, I guess, the mistake and good advice. The guy who I'm playing against in fantasy, Eric at work, told him to pick up Latavius and to start him. You told him not to start him.
I told him not to start him because the Chiefs had a great record going with no one scoring a rushing touchdown, period, against them all year, which is pretty amazing in today's, well, not really in today's NFL, but in the NFL period. Today's NFL is much more pass-oriented.
It's still amazing. Period. We'd be able to keep a professional running back out of the end zone.
for that long is pretty amazing.
And
you
the
guys
running
have a
backs
stout
that
defense.
they played against, I mean, Marshawn Lynch didn't get into the end zone, the week before, but that says something about Latavius Murray.
And that 90-yarder, when he got free, you couldn't catch him. It was thoroughbred. It was, I don't want to go over the top, but it's like watching Secretariat pull away at the Belmont.
Absolutely. No, that's not over the top because, Kansas City has some fast defensive backs back there.
Eric Berry's a heck of a
Eric
safety.
Berry was the one that was a Pro Bowl safety, and he was the one chasing him, and he could not keep up with him.
He was pulling away. Latavius, he got those long strides going, and he had a 4.3840 at the UCF Pro Day. And he's big, he's strong, he's fast. He said hello in a hell of a way.
Yeah, and hopefully he gets more of a chance coming out. I know that after that in the media, their coach, forgive me, I can't remember and really don't want to remember the Raiders coach's name because he won't be there for too long anyway.
Unemployed interim guy right now.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, it was amazing. He actually kind of put the brakes on the whole Latavius Murray thing. Latavius has a lot to prove still, which he does. That's fine, but he was really in the media stuff this week, like trying to really downplay the whole thing. So I'm not sure if he's not a Latavius fan or what. I personally hope this is what I hope. I hope that Latavius plays out his contract there, his rookie contract, and then moves on, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of other teams that could use a running back, and there's a lot of other teams that I would like to root for besides the Oakland Raiders.
You don't root for the Oakland Raiders.
I don't.
You root for a UCF alum who happens to wear Oakland Raider-esque colors on professional game days.
I actually sent Latavius on Facebook. I sent him a message saying, how torn I was and stuff, and he replied and said thank you. So,
but that actually opens a door for possibly not just Storm, but future running backs down the road. A lot of guys like UCF or George O'Leary coach players because they're more mature. We run a pro style per se offense and defense, and they're well coached. I know a lot of times we might argue this fact, but George O'Leary as a whole does have fundamentally sound players.
It's kind of hard to watch an NFL game now, really, in the last few weeks, especially without somebody from UCF being in one of the games. It's starting to be.
There's right now.
Yeah, I was looking over at it.
Red zone. Who's from UCF in this game?
We've got two players actually.
We do
at least.
We have Josh Robinson and Josh Sitton.
Yeah, we're watching Green Bay, Miami here on NFL Red Zone, just while we're doing this. But yeah, those guys, are starting to make names for themselves.
And Brandon Marshall had 2 touchdowns last week with Josh Robinson covering him.
Right, that was kind of interesting.
Poor Josh.
AJ Boye as well.
And Kamal Ishmael is continuing to have a heck of a season. Another interception. Is 3 on the season for Atlanta.
Yeah. So
Blake threw another interception earlier. And speaking of which, here's Jacksonville and Indianapolis, which is a terrible game for me because I need Andrew Luck to throw 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, so nobody has scored a touchdown here. It's been all kicking in Jacksonville and the Colts. So yeah, it's that's exciting.
Our boys are moving on to the pros and making a heck of a difference on that, and that helps with recruiting moving forward. When you guys come back on alumni weekend, or they get to see guys around campus that were former professional players like Kevin Smith and Dante Culpepper. And moving forward, that UCF is a destination for top-line recruits if their career endeavors are going to be matching up with the NFL.
Speaking of recruiting, real quick, I'm going to recruit some people to come to our website, UCFKnightlinePodcast.com. It's been 100% redesigned. I did that, I believe, on Wednesday of this week, if you haven't seen it. We have a message board on there now, which is free. All you have to do is sign up for it. Easy, make up a name, blah, blah, blah. But please, come to our website, check it out. We
can make up any name?
A lot more. Yes, you can make up any name. I've got a lot more. We are starting to get a lot more content on there. We're actually, writing stories about the basketball games because we're actually attending those as members of the press this season. So that
like I told you, we're legal.
We're legal. So yeah, UCFKnightlinePodcast.com. Check out all the stuff that's on there. I will be adding more and more and more. And please sign up for our message board and we'll talk.
Let me tell you, those basketball games, if you're not going to them, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, this team, I can't wait to see what happens once we get into conference schedule, to be honest with you, because the basketball team is solid. They are. They have some issues. They can get behind quite easy.
They're young.
They are young. But young is what's going to make this thing actually work out in the end, I think.
But we're very athletic.
Yeah.
We attack the rim. Shaheed Davis is a monster man, especially when he gets close to the post on the sideline. Stephon Blair, he was the oop to a couple Brandon Goodwin alleys.
Yeah, he's my favorite player, to be honest with you. I just like him. I like his, he's a big guy. I like his style, and he kind of
aggressive.
Pushes some people around out there. I actually thought that I would like the other big guy,
Justin
McBride, a little bit more, but he doesn't seem to play nearly as much as
he'll get there.
Yeah, some other people do.
Coach Jones touched on it in his press conference after the last game.
Yeah,
in which we had it on audio, but the person who we sent to the game to get the audio, me, was outsmarted by the app on the phone, and I got nothing.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
Luckily, I wrote stuff down.
We actually do have some because UCF is nice enough to put this stuff on SoundCloud and in other places. So let's hear from Donnie Jones, actually, the UCF basketball head coach.
I'm happy with the win. We're a team that's still in transition, learning how to play together. And, give this team here tonight, they really competed. And we knew coming in that they were tough. Eckert, Tom does a great job with this team. He's won a lot of basketball games there, and these kids are undersized in the post, very physical, and had a great feel how to play. And I knew that coming in, it was going to be a physical battle. They played Miami extremely tough, was up on Miami as well at Miami, and it was a close game all the way to the end. So I knew we'd be in for a battle as a coach. Sometimes your players, I don't think, believe that. But I was really happy, with the second half. We got off to a good start, but the second half, I thought we responded the way we can play.
Yeah, so those are the words there of Donnie Jones.
What he touched on was perfect a couple times. One, Tom at Eckerd College has won a lot of games, 350 for Eckerd, a couple 20-win seasons for them. Two, they really did match us up well in that first half. We came out guns a-blazing. Brandon Goodwin, I've been really impressed with how he's played this year. You're talking about Stephon Blair for you. Brandon Goodwin's matured quite a bit as a young player. Didn't get a ton of playing time last year. Had his best game against Stetson and was, I don't want to say up and down. He was kind of down just because he didn't get a lot of touches and he was a young player. He's really come in this year. He's been decisive. He's been aggressive. And, a lot of the team, the offense is really fed off of his play. He came in, and Adonis Enriquez and B.J. Taylor, especially Goodwin, really made some deep dribble penetration, was able to kick it out, and we started off on fire, up 20-8, took those guys out. Coach Jones even touched on how the energy dropped to the floor, is what he said. And Eckerd just came back. They were doing it from the free throw line. They were very patient. They were like a Serie A soccer team, just diced up our 2-3 zone, good ball movement, and they were up 37-35 at halftime. We come out second half, we're aggressive again, not quite as efficient. They scored the first 4 points. They opened up their lead. But that aggressiveness kept working, and we got them on their heels, and it opened up the three-point line. And Adonis Enriquez, that kid can shoot the rock. 5 for 7 from downtown, 8 for 11 from the field, 21 points leading all scorers.
Didn't he was the one that had the double-double against, was it him that had the double-double against Stetson?
That was Goodwin.
It was Goodwin, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're talking about your Stetson game or the year before?
This Stetson game.
It might have been him. I didn't check that.
It was either Goodwin or I'm sorry. Yeah, it may have been Henriquez. I thought it was Henriquez.
Henriquez isn't using his size yet for rebounding. He gets a few rebounds a game. He's done an excellent job of spreading the floor, especially with his long range capabilities. And he's a true freshman. B.J. Taylor's a true freshman. Goodwin's a sophomore. We have a very young backcourt, but they're exciting to watch. They really are. Some good passes, really, really nice things to see from young guys. Now, sometimes their competitiveness was a little lacking. Casey Wilson came in, the lone senior on the squad, really upped the energy, got his hands on everything from passes, block shots, set nice screens. He got a lot of playing time in that second half, and he really contributed quite a bit to the 41-22 is what UCF outscored Eckerd in that second half.
Yeah, I feel really stupid. I will admit. That was Shaheed Davis. I'm sorry, Shaheed Davis. That scored the double-double against Stetson.
I like that young man. He attacks the rim with some ferocity. He gets in there. He gets dirty. He really plays well. Stephen Blair is such a big man that he's going to attract several double teams down when he's sitting there. It takes two guys to box him out, and that's when Davis comes in and gets those rebounds. He's able to literally, it doesn't get credited to Blair, but he does a lot of the dirty work. And not that Davis doesn't hustle himself, but he comes in there, he cleans up the mess, and when you control the boards, and we shot nearly 60%
I like
for the game.
Shaheed's hair too. He's got interesting hair.
It's up there.
It is. It's kind of like got a.
It reminds me of Elfrid Payton, the
kind of got a
Magic rookie.
high top like dread-ish
combo
nappy thing on the top. Not nappy, but you know what I'm. It's It's just it's. Like,
you talking about more Caribbean style island?
Yeah, on the top. Anyway, I like it.
I like his effort on any given day, and there's going to be some games that he's going to really change the tempo and the energy level in that game, and
he's a junior, so. And he was a transfer, I believe, this year.
He's his first year, here at UCF, and he's getting some good work and practice with our transfer that's sitting out from University of Tennessee, A.J. Davis.
There is a game coming up tonight. I'll just get that off real quick here. 6 p.m. At the CFE Arena, and it is against the USC Upstate Spartans from South Carolina, and it's University of South Carolina Upstate Spartans. So I guess there's a little offshoot of the University of South Carolina, and they're called the Spartans, and that's who we're playing tonight. I don't know too much about them.
Does anyone? I had never heard of them until I saw them on our schedule.
Yeah, I don't. It's the UCF first meeting with them. They're in their 13th season of basketball with head coach Eddie Payne, who went to Wake Forest, graduated in 1973. This is their 30th season of playing basketball. Their overall record is 439 and 424.
Oh, well, so they're above 500.
Yeah, they're above 500 for their 30 years.
Good for them.
Now the coach is not above 500. It's 179 to 191. So yeah, they're 3-0 on the year. We're 2-0 on the year as far as teams or actual things that matter, games that matter.
We are 2-0, and I most surely believe we will be 3-0 after tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I think that this is going to be a decent year for UCF. Not quite ready to call that they're going to make the NCAA tournament yet. We will see. Got some games coming up. Davidson, Bethune-Cookman's going to be hard, and then Florida State.
Florida State's going to be a great litmus test for us on how we're going to do with guys who are equally athletic as us.
Right. And then we've got conference play, and you know that the American Conference in basketball is pretty much where it's at.
It's pretty stinking stout.
Yeah, it's going to get it could get ugly in there, but it could be surprising, and it could be quite exciting. So
we're, like I said before, we are going to win some games people think we should lose, and we're going to have some nice performances. We're going to have a somewhat difficult season in the conference this year, but it's going to really season our young players and get us prepared moving forward, because we haven't, like we talked about last week, a really good recruiting class coming in. 4 guys in the recruiting class plus A.J. Davis, as we spoke about. So 5 new guys coming in. We had 8 new guys this year. So trying to build some team chemistry and just add to the talent pool that we have.
Yeah. All right. Back to football a little bit here.
I'm sad.
You're sad that we're going to go back to talking about football?
No, you said football, and I'm sad.
Why are you sad?
Because it reminds me that was senior day.
Yeah.
We have 3 games left with these young guys.
Yeah. What a bummer.
They have given us quite a bit to cheer about in these past 4 years.
I held back the tears, to be honest with you. I've said I'm an emotional person. Yes. anyway, whatever.
I didn't even give you a look.
It was weird seeing all those guys, come out of the tunnel with their parents and stuff like that, and that those guys will not be here next year. We will be watching a few of those guys. We are positive in the NFL, so that'll be good. But this senior class has done a lot for UCF, period.
A whole lot.
Yeah. They are probably the top senior class. Not probably, they are the top senior class that UCF has ever.
Conference championship, BCS Bowl berth and victory, Liberty Bowl. So, a couple conferences titles. I mean, just everything that you want from a class coming in. They've just given it to us for 4 years.
JJ, the catch, it's going to be sad, and I'm looking forward, of course, to next year already. But
it's a whole lot of talent.
Oh yeah,
those 21 seniors.
Yep,
and their interdisciplinary degrees.
It is going to be a totally new team next year, except for our few underclassmen that
we're going to have the same quarterback, same running backs. Taylor Oldham had a 19-yard reception. Our wide
Speaking of receivers, what do you think? Do you think Perryman's going to stick around?
I have no inside information on that. I wish I could pick the young man's brain. There's times when he just bails out Holman, and there's times when he just drops the damn ball.
Yeah, so I think that he could stick around and improve for sure. But there's also other times he made that catch right in front of us. That was
when he landed on the guy and landed out of bounds, so they ruled him out of bounds, which was actually one of the 4 good calls they made.
Yeah,
in that game.
That was an incredible catch, number one.
And you kind of feel bad for the
and one
cornerback.
Of his touchdowns as well.
Oh, and on 2 sides, that was a professional throw.
And a professional
by
catch,
Holman,
yeah.
Exactly.
So,
those are plays you need to make on both sides of.
It's amazing because sometimes Perryman has hands, that look like there's freaking super glue on them, and then other times it look like there's freaking
he's wearing boxing gloves? Yeah,
on him. He does wear those gloves. And I know that, when I played football, we did not have those kind of gloves. I don't know if you've ever messed with a pair of gloves that they wear these days. They're extremely sticky, and they're sticky, together. And, so I don't know how you could not catch the ball, to be honest with you, with those things on. I guess it's just not looking at the ball and, watching it go into your hands and, grabbing. I don't know. But, yeah, so.
He's got loads of talent. He has arguably the most upside out of any receiver on this squad.
We need him, and I'm worried that he's not going to come back. So hopefully he will. Maybe anybody who knows his Facebook or Twitter or whatever can, start bugging him now and just begging him to come back. So
don't seem too desperate.
I don't know if that helps or not. It didn't help with Blake, which turned out to...
You don't blame him for leaving. The number 3 overall pick, all that guaranteed money.
What was the big news that Blake had this last week? What story broke that was huge about Blake?
I'm not sure.
Not really
huge.
Sports. No, but all week I get these Google alerts. Blake, was the first one that I ever really set up, and Blake, all talking about something that was 100% non-football related.
Apparently, he broke up with his girlfriend and her huge assets.
Yeah,
is involved with several. There's
Lindsay Duke, right? I almost called her Daisy Duke, but
yes, Lindsay Duke, his high school sweetheart, who went through him all through UCF now,
and high school. Yeah.
We've heard stories on how he's enjoying being a pro. That he's in
as he should,
as he's a popular fixture on the Jacksonville Beach bar scene.
Yeah.
And you saw him in the tailgating controversy photo with Sean Galvin and Sean Moffitt.
What was it, Kickergate?
Kickergate. I like how we have to add gate to every damn thing. Should have been Kicker Bounce House.
We had
that's really
the week before. Actually, yeah, we had Kickergate and Heatergate out of the same week.
That's true.
So
yeah. He's a single man. I'm hoping that this partying is the one thing that's not holding him back, forcing him to throw all these interceptions.
Yeah. You can't blame him, though. I mean,
Just party on your off season
yeah,
a little bit. Maybe
just don't get in any trouble. I mean, Blake, you're a good guy. You're, the all-American, image of what kids really should want to grow up and be. Don't make a mistake and get in trouble. That's all that I ask.
and we're not saying he
Please.
made a mistake by breaking up with Lindsey Duke.
Oh no, I mean,
I know it's the rumors you hear around Jacksonville because I do have several friends up there that have run into him.
she may have been completely psycho.
It's true, and if that's,
And when money gets involved with him, she could have been a money grubbing,
we've seen
machine.
that before.
So
If she is a bit,
I don't know that, and that's pure speculation. So, if anybody knows Lindsay Duke, we'd love to talk to her. So forward
Actually-
her information.
Actually, if she is a touch of crazy and as attractive as she is, I have a friend named Matthew Wren who would be very, very interested in talking to you.
yeah, he attracts them. Boy, trust me. He actually came with us this week to the game, and it was his first.
It was his first game. He was
First
blown away by the UCF campus. Now,
He was.
we went to school together actually he went to school after I did, up in Tennessee. And our old college from up there isn't even comparable to UCF's campus. It was when I came down from there and went to UCF, not now. It is, as we all know, it's a beautiful campus, and he was in shock and awe of everything that this campus is able to give people, which leads me to the recruits have to feel somewhat of the same way.
Oh yeah, when you see that for the first time, just the the arena and the indoor practice facility and the soccer field and the football stadium all in that
And
one
then
little
Memory
spot.
Mall, when Memory Mall's not littered with drunk, passed out college kids, who lost at beer pong or
Yeah.
won at beer pong.
I don't go there very often to Memory Mall, but we actually did walk through there a little bit yesterday, just to show
Matt what it was like.
Matt, and yeah, it's amazing.
Now, I go to Memory Mall when I'm on campus and it's not full of people. And it's relaxing. It's
Right.
the antithesis of what it is on Saturdays.
Right. Yeah. So I actually do, speaking of, since we were talking about the seniors and stuff, I have a 1 minute long clip here that I want to play you guys. It's a question that was asked by Brandon Helwig, who is a contributor to our show and is here every once in a while and is the editor and publisher of UCFsports.com. He asked a great question to Terrence Plummer yesterday after the game, and I'm going to play that for you right now.
What was going through your mind just walking off that field one last time? Did you lock eyes with any teammates? Were any words said to any of the guys? Or what were you kind of thinking as you walked back to that locker room?
Everything, me and Troy was on the sideline when the clock was ticking down. He said, TP, remember we stood here when we played Charles and Southern our freshman year? And how fat you were and skinny I was. And I was like, yeah, bro, I remember. And, it's crazy because it's kind of like, they say you start how you finish. And, we played a really good game versus Charles and Southern, and we played a really good game today. And all that time in between, we had so many ups and downs, things that happened freshman year not being as good as we thought we were going to be going 5-7. Then sophomore year, losing to Tulsa in the championship. And then last year, having, probably one of the greatest years in UCF history. And this year, trying to repeat that. So, so many ups and downs, but, you try to stay even keel and just remember the good moments.
All right, so we have to remember the good moments with our senior class. Don't get too upset that they're gone.
I'm still upset that they're gone, but I
am. They're not gone yet. We have 2 more games.
We have three more games. We're going to make a bowl game, baby.
Yeah, 3 more games. Yeah, so I guess we should talk maybe a little bit about what's coming up. We have
USF.
USF coming up on Friday this week.
We are their bowl game.
We are their bowl game because as of last week, or as of yesterday, they are not bowl eligible. Excuse me. They lost 31-20 to Memphis. I was really kind of rooting for USF in a way.
I was too. I was hoping that for one they would knock off Memphis to give them another conference loss, so we can walk away with it as a clear title. Also, it would make it so if their game with us we would be the team that would
to
cost
knock them out, yeah,
bowl eligibility.
Yeah, that would be
That's what I was really hoping for, just to be able to stomp their souls down there in Tampa.
Yep. You have a lot with the soul.
I do.
You're
soul crusher. And I'm not talking about
eater.
South Korea soul. I'm talking about the thing inside of you that you can't touch or feel.
Yeah. All right. Some people can touch it. Anyway. So let's do our American recap real quick, and then we'll go back to. So obviously we beat SMU 53-7. ECU kind of whooped Tulane as well, 34-6.
Tulane had no chance in that game. Who's that wide receiver? Justin Hardy set the record for all-time receptions yesterday.
That's crazy. You know, speaking of all-time records, smashed again. Did you, against my team of Kansas, Oklahoma running back ran for, do you know what it was?
427 yards.
427 yards. Back to back. Whose record was it before the guy broke it from Wisconsin last week?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Right.
For 15 years.
15 years that record stood, and it was broken 2 weeks in a row. That's crazy. That is absolutely
Well, it wouldn't
crazy.
have broken 2 weeks in a row if they didn't take the kid from Wisconsin out before the fourth quarter.
Right, yeah, and rested him after that. Anyway.
I mean, you know, it was Bob. Oh, I forgot the guy who usually does basketball, but he was talking to him after the game and was telling him, hey, your record was broken, and kind of stunned look on his face, like, really?
Yeah,
like, who did it? The guy from Oklahoma. Good for him. How much you get? 427 yards. There's only 19 yards more, and he didn't play the entire fourth quarter. You know, he's like.
I think they should line up those two guys with the best.
They're both freshmen.
With the best defense in college football, and just let them run and run.
Completely
just see.
Two different styles. The kid from Oklahoma, all of his was inside the tackles, meaning he had some fantastic blocks, and he set up his blockers. But that offensive line for Oklahoma dominated Kansas.
Well, yeah,
he ran very well between the tackles. On the other side, the kid from Wisconsin, everything was when he bounced the outside. Almost all of his yardage
was long runs.
Was long plays on the outside. It was outside the tackles, which means there's a little more running back, driven yardage. But both exceptionally impressive.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing.
We're happy that, Micah Reed got 100 yards. I think we might explode if one of our guys got 400 yards in a game.
That would be awesome. I'd take one of our guys getting 200 yards in a game.
I would be ecstatic with that. I was very happy with the performance we had yesterday.
Yeah, with our combined. We said USF, Memphis beat them 31-20.
Memphis played a smart game. Good possession. Paxton Lynch was a little much for USF to handle. You could tell USF just has outside of Andre Davis, they just don't have a ton of, exceptional talent. Mike White, isn't the future of the quarterback situation there. He is the best quarterback right now.
I think they played three quarterbacks for some reason. There were three different people in
because
there,
they're looking for rhythm because they tend to turn the ball over way too much. Especially, Mike White is their best quarterback, and he seems to find guys in other jerseys quite often.
Right. Also, Houston beat Tulsa 38-28. I didn't see any of that game.
Yeah, I didn't get to catch. Yesterday was all sports day. It was the UCF game all day. Went home, took care of the dogs, went off to the Magic game. Didn't even go home, watch the fights.
Who? The Magic get whooped?
They couldn't stop Chris Bosh. Who'd
they play?
Miami.
The Heat, right? Yeah. And what was the score?
I don't remember. We kind of fell apart at the end. Bosch kept hitting every shot. No, Vucevic had a
I don't think anybody
game.
Cares about the Magic anyway.
I got free tickets, and where I sat, it was, I think, the highest point in the state of Florida.
You're way up at the top.
Man. Let me pull my phone after this, and I'll show you the photo I took.
Wow.
It was better for me to watch it on the Jumbotron than it was on the... Now, there were free tickets, and I thank the person quite a bit for giving me free tickets, but it would have been better off just going to Wing House, setting up for the fights.
All right, back to football here.
Cincinnati did what we should have.
Oh, man. That UConn loss gets worse and worse and worse every game that UConn plays after we lost to them. I still don't know how that happened. That was, just debacle.
You know what that is? The UConn's that. Now, it hasn't happened to me. Maybe to you, and I don't think it happened to you either. It's that girl you didn't know is horrendously ugly that you hooked up with.
This never happened to me.
So, and that's losing to UConn. Now, it'd be worse if we don't win the conference because of the UConn game. It's like you getting her pregnant as well.
Or
it's just,
catching some kind of disease. That's what I would.
You could at least get penicillin to fix that, and you're
Right.
back on. If you get her pregnant, that's permanent. And that's what this UConn, because it's permanent if we don't win the conference championship because we lost to UConn.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely do believe we'll beat USF and that we match up really well with the style of play of ECU.
Yeah, I don't think ECU is going to be that bad, like I did earlier in the year. So,
Not just early in the year, we do really good against stationary quarterbacks. We do good against spread offenses because George O'Leary has done a really good job of being able to teach guys to disrupt the timing of wide receivers. And we have a really good secondary. I really like our matchup against ECU. I do.
I don't think it's going to be nearly as bad. So, USF this week, it is
Black Friday game.
Black Friday.
Noon.
I believe the game is at noon. It will be on ESPN, I believe, or one of those.
So
things.
it's a primetime game for us. When you say primetime, we're going to be broadcast to a lot more viewers because we're going to be on ESPN.
Right. Actual ESPN, right?
Yes.
Or is it,
no, we're ESPN. We are front and center.
Okay, yeah.
UCF.
Not a lot of games happen at noon on a Friday, but, whatever. That'll probably be the only game that's on. So
when all the crazy people and mom and your sisters are out at Black Friday shopping.
Think about that on all the TVs. If somebody has, they're showing off their TVs and how good sports look.
The rest of us are at
home. What else is going to be on?
Yeah, I know. Don't remind me. I'm debating about vomiting a ton of money for a TV.
Yeah.
It's killing me inside.
Anyway, yeah, so I know a lot of UCF fans are going over there to try to make like a home game for us.
I think we only need 730 people to go down there for us to outnumber USF fans.
Probably. So
hopefully we get a lot more than that.
Yeah, it should be.
They were giving us terrible ticket packages, putting us way in our band, way away from the field. They don't open the upper decks. Because if you put everyone
But they were putting our fans and stuff in the upper deck.
Yeah, that's what they're giving to us to keep us away from making a difference because they know no one cares about USF football.
Right. So my suggestion would be to buy your tickets on StubHub or something like that where you could, get in the maybe even get into the section of the USF people and kind of disturb that a little bit.
Will they actually have a section? I mean, is there a dedicated section for people who don't show up?
I think that the UCF fans should get seats right behind the bench of USF.
That's where I was last year for the home.
Bug the living crap out of those guys the entire game.
We
don't throw anything. We don't need to do that.
UCF people probably care more about USF football than people down in Tampa.
Probably, yeah. So, what else do we have? Nobody sent us a question this week. You can send us a question. You can leave us a voicemail, 407-205-7427. That would be greatly appreciated. That will give us a little bit more to talk about here. And I like to hear y'all's questions. So, do that. 407-205-7427.
All right, here's a segue. We have 3 games left with our young men. USF, ECU, and a bowl game. Did we hear from Kurt this week?
We did. Let's do the Kurt's question here. All right, Knight fans, welcome to this episode of Kurt's Questions, featuring Kurt Searcy. All right, this week, Kurt's question is, what are your bowl projections for UCF this season and possible opponents?
That's a hard one to answer.
It is, because you just never know how this whole thing is going to play
There's
out.
3 primary bowls, because American doesn't have a bowl game tie-in for its champion. So we go to the Miami Bowl, which is BYU is the only possible opponent. A lot of people, especially George O'Leary, really wants that bowl. It's on a Monday. It's a terrible time. So, come on, really? Do we want to play BYU? We beat them.
Why play a game that we've already played?
Exactly, and which no one will watch because it's the worst time slot for a bowl game in the history of bowl games. George wants to stay in state. I agree with that because of how much money we've spent traveling to Fiesta Bowl, traveling to Ireland, and he really wants the kids to play before Christmas because unless you're in a big-time bowl, he kind of just wants it over and done with and moving on. And I can't really blame him for that. The other one is the Bitcoin Bowl down in St. Pete against, hopefully, now we've been at UTEP, people have talked about Florida, people have talked about. Now it's against the ACC if they don't have enough people who are able to fill that slot, enough bowl-eligible teams, then it goes to the MAC. Right now, they may or may not. It looks like we might be able to land North Carolina. That'd be a game I'd be really interested in. North Carolina doesn't play much defense, has a solid offense. Close bowl game. The only problem is it's played in Tropicana Field. Now, if God mercifully destroys Tropicana, then the backup stadium is going to be Bright House. So that would be fantastic to see our young men there one last time. So if you could work on a comment or something, do that.
Yeah, please, anyone.
And then the Birmingham Bowl, which is, have you been to Birmingham?
I have been to Birmingham, but not to a football game there.
I haven't been to a football game there either, but I've been through Birmingham several times and never once was impressed.
What stadium is it? Is it UAB's stadium that the Birmingham Bowl would be in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the nicest part of Alabama. That's funny to say.
What about this? What's the bowl that is going to be played at Bright House Stadium this year? The Cure Bowl, isn't it going to be played there? Or is it going to be played at?
I thought it was going to be played at the Citrus Bowl.
At the Citrus Bowl, when they first started talking about it, it was going to be played.
Well, it might.
At Bright House Stadium.
I haven't followed that quite a bit.
Yeah,
the Citrus Bowl's nice, man. I saw all the renditions. They put seat banks.
Yeah, and the whole lower bowl, right?
And there's a little more room.
A big video screen.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually 3 of them now. Yeah, I'm excited to see it on TV. I can't wait to. They're actually talking. The Florida Citrus Sports Association or whatever
wants a USF
brought up UCF games to be played there as a neutral site game. That would be cool, actually. Oh. I personally was, of course, late coming to the scene of UCF football, so I never got to see a UCF game at the Citrus Bowl. I've never even actually been to the Citrus Bowl for anything.
You've missed nothing on UCF,
but it is a legendary. It's a legendary place. It is. It's been there for a long time. It's they need to make it, obviously they'd spent a lot of money on it, so I can't wait to actually go see something there, and I would love to go see a UCF football game there.
Growing up here in town, you and I have a different view of legendary. Something old doesn't make it legendary, it makes it old. Now, they've renovated, as we just said. I've been to plenty of games. Used to be a season ticket holder in the Citrus Bowl days. And then Orlando City playing there as a season ticket holder. Tinker Field is what I've always had that emotional connection to as nostalgic and old and kind of legendary, all the minor league games there. The Citrus Bowl,
not so much.
Yeah,
okay.
It's there. I've watched a lot of Capital One Bowls back in the day, and I've been there several times, and there was nothing impressive about it.
I still want to know, can they get the monster trucks in there still? Did they leave an opening to get the...
They said they were never doing a monster truck show there again.
I thought there was one scheduled, to be honest with you, but whatever. But, monster trucks are cool.
It is fun. Absolutely. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to do it again. And you can't spend that much money on a stadium. Victory is a drive. Right. You can't spend that much money on a stadium and have 5 events a year.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. You know what? We didn't. Oh well. You'll have to join us in our forum at UCFKnightlinePodcast.com to talk to us about maybe get our score prediction for the USF game. All right. Andrew Phegley, Troy Ondrizek.
Ondrizek.
I said it wrong. I tried. All right, we're out of here.
Knights. UCF Knights. Go Knights.